Haven Youth and Family Services fosters mental health for youth and families in the community through prevention, intervention, and therapy programs. Last year, Haven reached over 1,200 students in a variety of different settings throughout the community. 100% of donations go to support programs. Those families that can't afford services are never turned away because they can't afford services. So if we have a sliding scale that starts at $20 per session, but a family can't afford to pay that, donations go to directly support those families and make sure that they're getting the help that they need.
My favorite part about Haven is that it's really true to its name. People, I think, our clients come in here and feel like they have a warm, safe, healthy, productive space to speak freely and get what they need out of coming in for therapy.
But Haven's outreach, I think, is the coolest thing that Haven does, in my opinion. We're in a lot of the middle schools and the high schools around here, and I think those sessions are really helpful as we're kind of getting a feel for what our community is encountering every day. And I think it's really sweet that Haven is so interested in developing programming for agencies that need help. So right.
As well as the clients, working with teens, every week it's something new, so it keeps it exciting, and it's also great working with the parents in the schools as well.
My favorite part about Haven is everybody's been very friendly in facilitating many services that we needed, and just the atmosphere and the accommodating nature of Haven has been really easy.
The time with the clients is awesome. We have really wonderful families that are devoted to really making a change in their kids' lives, and so.
I do feel like a lot of the clients here and families have been impacted by our services in a lot of ways. I've seen people go through therapy and come out and a much happier, better individual.
I started working with a young man several years ago, and eventually over time I saw a very angry man break down some walls that up to that point he was not able to do on his own. As a team, Haven worked together with his siblings, and then eventually we worked with the entire family, connecting them to resources in the community and allowing them to sort of thrive and grow where they hadn't before. I worked with one girl. She came in just before her senior year in high school, and her mom was suddenly no longer in her life, and so she came in here not only for therapy around that, but also to work through the college application process, social issues related to senior year, and whatever other struggles she was having with family. And looking back on that and looking to where she is now, she's doing great, she's in college, she's thriving, and I think we were a part of her success, and she's doing really well.
There is definitely a client who has made a huge difference in my life, as much as they've informed me that I have made in theirs. And that's what this work is really about. It's that person-centered kind of connection you get to have with somebody, and knowing that this is more than just listening. This could be the basis of something bigger for them.
Like our picture of success tends to be the family that kind of falls into our office when they have been referred over because their child has been self-harming or has had thoughts of wanting to hurt themselves. And in those cases, lots of times the family has never heard of Haven, and the parents have been called into work, kind of not suspecting that this was going to happen in their workday, and they come in with their kids and are pretty surprised by our warm environment and how we're able to help them navigate through this kind of uncertain territory. And lots of times in those cases, those kids end up they might not come here for 4 years straight, but they might, find Haven to be their safe space for all of high school. We might see them intensely in the beginning while they're working through some of the issues that brought them through the door, and then they take a little break, and then they come back as stressors come up in their lives. And I think that that's kind of like our best sort of typical, if there's a typical success story, when we're able to support an adolescent all the way through high school, through the different challenges that come their way.
I had a 15-year-old girl who was kicked out of her house and had no place to go. It happened to be Halloween and pouring rain out. And one thing that I really like about Haven is that we are the ones who take that call, and we went out and found her, and she was literally sitting under a staircase to her apartment building. And we were able to take her in and get her placed in a temporary shelter, and she was able to continue to stay at that shelter until we found a transitional living program for her. Ultimately, she ended up going on to college and staying at that placement, where she really wouldn't have had that opportunity if Haven wasn't a part of that, because she had no relatives here, had no other people to contact, and we were able to step in and really make a difference and get her to a place that was safe, and ultimately where she could be successful and have a future that looked a lot brighter than when she was underneath that staircase.
It's been a really big help for me to kind of, find my ground. It's just been a big support of just like the things I've been going through. It's just really helpful, it's like a really positive thing that I just know I can come to.
I've had a really great time with Charlie, and we really connect, and I think it's helped me out. He's helped me out with a lot of kind of coping and how to deal with life, and I don't know, it's really helped me out.
It's helpful to me because it helps me feel feelings I've never felt before, and it helps me be a happier person.
I often come in confused as to why I'm feeling a certain way, and he kind of helps me kind of figure it out.
I wasn't very, I wasn't too hopeful for the future. I don't want to get into it, but now that I've kind of had someone to help me and talk about things, it's really helped me out and changed the way I look at things. I've come in here feeling like awful, and then left feeling. We just talk. Sometimes he'll buy me a Starbucks or something. There was actually one time when I didn't have a ride home, and he drove me home. So that was really nice. He's really great.
We just talk about stuff, music, and just talk. It's pretty good.
Like collage, and it's about me. It shows what I like.
So what do you like?
So I like superheroes, I like cats, and I like food.
He enjoys coming here. I think that he has really gotten a lot out of it, and I think he feels that way too.
And just hearing Haven's reputation amongst other professionals in the area, the referrals from them come in constantly. Families are just so eager to meet the therapists here and utilize the services here because they're inexpensive compared to the other options around here.
You never know exactly how impactful you're going to be with any given individual or family.
And I feel like it's rare for people to say I had like an amazing adolescent experience. It's not easy to be trying, like I said, to be an adult but still wanting to be a kid at the same time. And just being on that journey with the teens is amazing. I said it's hard for teens to know how to take the right moves and go on that path. So I think having somebody in their corner that will help support them through any misstep or exciting journey they may be on is, I think, really, really important for them.
My favorite part is watching kids grow, that they come in some really dark places, and as they start to make connections to what they're doing and how to change that behavior and making those choices on their own, they start to recognize that their lives are improving, and so they sustain that over the course of time, and then watching them kind of leave and go on to have really productive lives.
As an expressive arts therapist, I get to use art, music, dance, drama, poetry as resources, alternatives to talk therapy, and I have found I truly love working with teenagers. It's one of my passions, and so teenagers, we know they don't like to talk very much anyways, so giving them an opportunity to express themselves in other means is what means the world to me, and it was because it started out as an outlet for me when I was a teen. So seeing kids be able to really find a way to tell me how they're feeling, what they're going through art and music specifically, has been very empowering for me as much as it has been for them.
The friendliness and community feel that we have here, and I just like all the people that I work with.
Haven is an amazing team. I love that we can work individually with clients, we can work together in a cooperative group to work with families, and that is my favorite part.
There's just dialogue all day long about what's the best way to support our families, and I think that's really unique. Haven's future is just so unique because they have such a sweet reputation in this community.
I think one thing that makes Haven so special and so unique is that every staff person here often talks about what is so special about being at Haven and how much we all love to be here. It makes a job that a lot of people talk about as being so tough and so hard to manage and come home from actually really a pleasure to do all the time.
You know, what I really like about Haven is coming in and seeing the staff here. Every challenge that we've come up with, they've met, and they've had to make some pretty significant sacrifices in order to stay connected to Haven. As a result of making those sacrifices, we've really seen them make a commitment to our community in a very passionate way. Had we not had their investment, it would have been really difficult to sustain our programs. And watching the incredible work that they do with the families that come in here that are in really difficult situations, and engaging them and getting them to a better place has been about the best part of this job.
There is a sense of intimate community here, which I really liked. It's not a big organization. It felt very personal, and it wasn't just about the connection between you and your clients, it was between the connection of staff members. This wasn't just a normal job. People here care truly about what's going on in other people's lives, and you had a sense of wanting to deepen that connection with your clients and with the community.
Because as we have found out, there is a lot of need for the type of work that we do, and we're finding that the community is really embracing Haven and the services that we have to offer. So we're inviting them to be a part of our mission and hopefully sustain us while we continue to grow.
I would love to see Haven working with kids from additional schools. I would love to see us hire more staff to accommodate the demand on our services that we're seeing grow. We're already starting to outgrow our space, but we're making that work quite nicely.
So I could see, 10 more therapists lining up to be able to support the need, because again, we just continue to find that the need is huge.
I think it would be very, very beneficial for other high school students to get involved with this, because I think it would make a lot of people happy, if they had someone to talk to. Because teenagers go through a lot of stress. I mean, everyone goes through stress, but especially teenagers in this weird transition phase, they need someone to talk to, in my opinion.
I don't know, I think they're doing a really good job as is. I don't know. You can only get greater, I guess.
I think the community is a huge asset to what we do here, and they understand the importance of this work. I think there's a lot of people who recognize that the work we do is hard work and it's work that needs to be done. And I'm grateful and so appreciative to those people because they understand that this is not easy and we can't just see everybody who comes in the door, but we want to be able to, and that's the thing. Haven wants to be able to see anybody who needs the help, but we need the help in trying to make that happen.
Well, we're doing so much. We're a small team, but we are continuing to grow in not only our work here at the office in terms of individual and family therapy, but we're spreading a lot of our work in the school systems. So I think having more availability, more space in the office is something that we're working on, just so that we can see more clients during the needy times after school, since we serve adolescents in particular. We continue to do trainings to keep our skills up to speed.
Well, I think we've seen quite a bit of growth over the past couple of years, in particular around the credibility of our therapy services. So I'd like to see that continue to grow and our capacity to see more clients just increase. And we just recently kind of expanded beyond our 12 to 17 age range. I'd like to see us be able to see more parents, or maybe even adults who don't have a connection to Haven through their child. I think just kind of expanding our population both age-wise, but also geographically. So we're happy to be able to serve people from a wider net.
Thanks so much for donating to Haven. I think your impact is making a difference beyond what you know and beyond what I know. These kids have really cool stories and they're just getting started here, and so the impact on their future and our future is remarkable. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you so much for all of your support. We couldn't do it without
I
you.
appreciate so much what all of you have done for us tonight and every other day in between, from the financial donations to the support that you've given us. Beyond all words, thank you truly from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you do for Haven.
Thank you, donors.
Thank you for donating.
I would like to personally thank all the donors of Haven and the Friends of Haven. Your generosity has made a huge impact on the community, and I can't thank you enough on behalf of Haven.